Hey, book club besties.
From scrubs to book clubs, we're two burnt-out healthcare workers who love to yap about books. I'm Katie.
I'm Star. Welcome to Aimless Attention Podcast.
Today, we are going to talk about Crescent City. And we decided we had to do this podcast because neither of us in the last 3 podcasts we've filmed have been able to shut up about this series.
No, and then watch us talk about something else because we're just amazing at that.
Yeah.
That's why it's Aimless Attention.
We will say that this is a spoiler warning for anything to do with the SJM universe. So Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, and Crescent City will all be talked about between their characters and everything else. This is not a super structured podcast. Both of us just have a lot of ranting and raving to do about this series, and it's not because we don't like it. Like, I genuinely love this series, but we just have a lot of opinions.
A lot of opinions.
So I will say that Crescent City, I would agree with the internet that it was the hardest one for me to get into, just because the world building was so different than the other two. Like, we're in a classic Fae realm for both of the other books, whereas this one, with being a urban fantasy and kind of having to build up how many different kinds of creatures were there, I think made it more difficult.
I loved it. I loved the city aspect of feeling like, I mean, obviously never been in New York, but it had that very New York-y feel, like what you see on TV, where like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass series was, I felt like it was just like you were digging a hole and pooping in it. Where this like had, she says it had plumbing. She says it did.
She's
I feel
like in a toilet.
I feel like Throne of Glass Crescent City 100% is in the city. You are in the city. You are walking with street lights and down roads and cars and the phones, like it almost feels like, I don't know, I want to say iPhone, but I guess just a smartphone would be more realistic, just because I'm an iPhone user.
I love my Android.
I know. Just everything in me is like, but yeah, I just felt like very much like it was more realistic to our time. Like,
for sure.
You know, just the power grid and everything it was cool.
I also, going off of the power grid thing, I really enjoyed that it was like their magic that was powering everything.
That really kind of was like why I wanted to go with it. I was like, oh, am I going too far into
No, it's totally a good thing to talk about. Like I said, there's no structure to this. It's just kind of like what we liked. We'll come back to Crescent City on a little bit more kind of planned out basis. We just both have feelings that need to exit our heads before we can do that.
So the thing that I can't stand about this one, though, in all reality, is how many different characters there are. So like there's like angels and werewolves and fae and humans, and they're all interacting in the same world. I don't know why it really bothered me.
I think it makes sense though, because I mean, as we learned, the Asteri made their perfect host world from all of those, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, but it was too much to keep up with. Like, you were like, who is? And then everybody's freaking names. What is going on with all the names? Okay, everybody's got too many names. One person can't have 8 names, because then I don't know who the hell you're talking about. I think it's a whole nother character, and then I'm confused, and then I'm spending 20 minutes going, who the hell is so and so? Like, reference Bryce. Okay, Hunt calls her Quinlan. Multiple times in the story, I genuinely, for at least 3 chapters, thought she was a second person. I was so freaking confused. I was like, who the hell is Quinlan? And like, why is he talking to Bryce now? Yeah, so I struggled with that for too many chapters to like catch on.
She does love to give people multiple names. However, this is where I'm going to do my rant on the River Queen's daughter. Okay, there are a few characters like the Serpent Queen, the River Queen, and the Ocean Queen. Like, they're just their titles. The Autumn King. Does he have a name besides the Autumn King? Yeah, so there's the Autumn King. That's fine. You know what pisses me off? The River Queen's daughter. She doesn't have a fucking name throughout the entire book series.
River Queen's daughter.
And Therian is engaged to her for a decade. And even in his own head is like, the River Queen's daughter. I'm like, what's her fucking name, Therian?
I just think she couldn't come up with a name. I think she, like, out of every fucking name that she could come up with, you could get 8 names, but you can't get a name because I couldn't come up with one. You know, when she's digging through her Bible, she was like, you know, I'm just not going to name her just so that Katie will be annoyed. She was like, we're going to annoy Katie for the rest of eternity and not name her.
I've Googled this, too. And there's lots of people There's lots of. I've spent a lot of time.
She's not the only one.
On the River Queen's daughter.
I'm sure Reddit probably had a shit ton of reasons.
All she does is complain and like cry about stuff.
She is
Therian had sex with her one time.
Such a little crybaby. She's beyond spoiled. Like even in the end when he's like, you know, married to the new girl and he's trying to like just I don't even know, like trying to explain to the River Queen's daughter that like the world doesn't revolve around her, she still starts crying like a little
bit.
But
it does revolve
and I was
around
like
me.
100% was like, I don't relate to you at all. Like I do have to be a little self-centered in life. I don't relate to her at all.
Well, I saw a thing. So the River Queen is like, she's not a mer like Therian.
Oh, really? Because I totally thought she was.
I thought she was too, but when I was Googling, there was
the Googles told her otherwise.
Apparently, she's just like this ancient like creature.
She's just like a.
She's just like a type of like.
She's just there.
She's an aquatic creature.
Oh my god!
I mean, like the Ocean Queen's weird too.
Okay, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I genuinely thought she was just. Like,
I thought she was like a weird slithering mer too.
Me
but
too.
Like
she's
not.
Never, like,
apparently, she's not. She's like some sort of otherworldly creature. Which all of them technically are all otherworldly creatures.
Yeah, but I just thought she was like a mermaid that just like.
I thought that just stayed down there and just became. I don't know. I couldn't understand the River Queen very well. And then the fact that her daughters didn't have a name. And then people were speculating online that either she's got a really important name and that's why we don't know it. But again, for how many fucking chapters I had to read of Therian's POV to not know who the River Queen, what the River Queen's daughter's name is after being married to her or not engaged to her for a decade pisses me off. But the internet's like, she has a reason for not revealing this name.
Does she have a reason though?
Or like they come from these beasts that don't give their children names. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense because then does she just stop being the River Queen's daughter when her mom dies and now she's the River Queen? Like they don't have a name ever?
Ooh, that's kind of an interesting one though. But like in some cultures though, like they don't. But in some cultures though, like they don't name their children for the first year because there's more likely to die. So maybe like it's a cultural thing. Maybe the internet's not wrong.
But this girl is old enough to have a name.
No, I totally agree. I'm just saying like maybe the theory is kind of similar. Like where they like because the likelihood of you dying in the first year is so likely. So some cultures believe not to name you. It's almost like cursing you if you name you. So then maybe like the idea is that like.
But if the River Queen had a second daughter, would she just be the second daughter of the River Queen?
She'd be River Queen second daughter too. Second thing.
River Queen daughter too. Yeah, like I don't understand. I don't know if it was. Just, I know SJM plans all of this stuff out and everything's interconnected and there's a reason for everything she does. But I cannot fathom there being a good enough reason if later on we find out something crazy about the River Queen's daughter. I don't think it'll ever convince me that her not having a name was worth me having to read that much of Therian.
she was pissed about it. But I'm not gonna lie, like it irritates me how many fucking names everybody has. Like it was so bad that like even I was like not keeping up. Like Hunt and Orion, like it took me forever to be like, okay, that is the same fucking person. Like it just drives me crazy. Name them one goddamn name or use their full name once and then give it to me after that. Like it's like when you're trying to piece it together, it's irritating as shit. Mm-hmm. Like the whole like trying to be like, and then like the serpent. Oh my fucking god! Like I don't know. The viper. That's
the Viper
what it is.
Queen. Yeah,
the Viper Queen. I was like the Serpent Queen. I don't know why. It's because she's sweet.
When I said it earlier,
like
it didn't sound right either.
Like the Viper Queen is always slithering.
It's like Hiss from Robin Hood.
It just makes me crazy. Like the whole time she's talking, I'm just like, please stop talking. I need you to stop talking right now. Yeah. And then what is there? There's so she's got too many characters for me, honestly. Yeah. She's got sprites. Is it sprites?
Yep, there's sprites.
Okay, so
Lahaba.
Thank you. I
was a fire sprite.
Yeah, okay.
And she was amazing.
She's a sprite. She was my favorite fucking character.
I love Lahaba.
Now, I can't get it right that she was a sprite, but she was my favorite character. I do have notes for this when we actually go to do a true deep dive. But there was angels. There was werewolves. There was the serpent. I keep calling her a serpent. The Viper Queen. There was the...
that had like the snake venom that could enthrall people.
The river that everybody was using as a drug. That one threw me off. Like I couldn't grasp that, but in the beginning I was like, "What?" That's
like
fuck?
How she kept them in their thrall.
Yeah,
so they get addicted to her venom.
There was there a dragon? Right?
Yeah, there was the dragon.
There was just too many. There was too many characters for me to like I enjoyed
and then
it.
the Reapers.
I enjoyed it.
There were the Reapers, which I didn't fully understand. And
no, but
then
okay, with the Reapers though, this is gonna sound really stupid, but like part of me was trying to like, cause she connects everything. I was like, are these also like the Hound? Okay. My brain could not stop going to Throne of Glass when the hounds were after him. Like, and I was like, this is not the same hound. But I just kept picturing
the Hellhound?
the duck. Yeah, I just kept picturing like the dark shadows.
Yeah.
And then like it couldn't, like I was like, you couldn't, that was either too closely simulated or it was the same exact.
Yeah.
Because all her worlds connect.
Yeah,
and
they
sometimes you catch like little snippets and you're like, wait a minute, did I catch a snippet? Or was that a real like interaction where you're like, oh crap, like. So I was kind of curious, but you didn't catch that one, or it just
I don't. I think that just blew by me. But so they also have the archangels. Then they have the
why she named them the real archangels though? Like she like had like
well, they
Michael
were like
and
they were
stuff,
like they were more powerful and they were like the purest of the angels. They were all like stark white.
Yes,
and
but
all
I'm
that.
saying like she like actually named it like
because they were the governors.
Michael, like I don't know.
And
Michelangelo,
then the Asteri who rule over everything. The humans.
The humans was weird because wouldn't it be weird to live in a world where you're like, no, don't get me wrong, I have no issues like mixing the pot and like just being a blended pot, but it would just be weird to know that like these people are going to live forever and I'm going to live for like 20 years.
Well, like, the humans were given to the Fae and the other beings to make them believe that they were over something else. That like the Asteri created the hierarchy so that they were like overlords.
But like all of her books are like that.
Yeah,
the humans are always slaves. We're always slaves, guys. We're just
well, yeah, because in ACOTAR they were slaves before they got That's and then the wall was built.
I'm just saying we're always slaves.
And then in Throne of Glass is interesting because some of the humans do have magic.
Yeah,
but then again, Dorian's human, but he has Fae blood. I
was gonna say they had like a reason for the magic. It wasn't that they just got magic.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And then you don't know that people are Fae, even though like they think they're human because they didn't know that they were Fae. So there's that.
Well, Aelin knew that she was Fae, but her animal form was human.
No, but I'm saying like not all of them because when Aelin met Dorian, he didn't know, but his father was like an evil, like wasn't his father like seeping it or something? This is the problem I have with her books, like so like
so Dorian has Brannon's bloodline.
Yes, but so doesn't his father?
Yes, but that's why he could take over the gate, sealing the gate in Kingdom of Ash.
I'm just saying that's how like. What I'm getting at though is that like she always has like weird, like everybody seems human, but there's always more to the story.
Something else, unless you're Chaol.
Like Bryce was human.
Unless you're Chaol or you're Attn and you're worthless, even though you're a half Fae.
You're worthless. You're just worthless.
That's another topic of discussion when we do Throne of Glass. We'll have to do like an SJM couples ranking.
Ooh,
well, and then
that'll be fun.
I know who's on the bottom for me.
Oh God, she's just gonna throw Chaol to the fucking wolves.
That's not it. Chaol's not on the bottom for me.
She's gonna be like, to the trash you go.
Chaol met Irene and then it was fine. Attn never was fine. I fucking hate Attn.
I fucking loved Attn. I can't believe you didn't like him.
Attn was so annoying.
Just a super. He was like, as Bryce would put it, he was an alpha hole. Like it was just. He didn't know anything different.
Just stomped his feet whenever he didn't know what was going on.
What would you put him on the list?
Oh, above Attn.
Would you really?
Yeah.
She fucking hated him all through the series. So in Crescent City, when he comes and he's like, "You're gonna be my wife," you weren't like, "Ew."
No, I wasn't a fan of Cormac, but Cormac grew on me. Attn never grew on me because he was an asshole toward the end. Like he didn't grow. I felt like Chaol grew as a character. And he kind of had a better understanding of things.
But he didn't really have a thing to grow for. Like he met what's her name? And
he met Irene.
They ended up like Attn ended up meeting
Lysandra.
what's her name? But she ended up Lysandra had her own freaking life. Like they didn't really like mate the way that like he's used to.
They didn't
like
mate necessarily, but they did get together in Kingdom of Ash.
Yeah, but they didn't mate like the whole way that the men change is they find their mate. He didn't find his mate. Like she didn't actually like ever like.
No. Attn says she's his mate.
No. That's not what I meant, though. I meant like that whole like growing together thing, they didn't do that. She had her own like.
That's true.
She was so dramatically traumatized.
Well, she kind of was on her own healing journey and was already growing past it. And I think Attn was stuck in the shadow of Aelin. And then he just threw a toddler fit all the time. He was like, I didn't get to take the blood oath. And then she's like, well, I'll give you the blood oath.
Because he's an alpha hole.
He's like, I don't want to do it unless we're in Orant. Then it's just
right?
like, okay.
Because he's an alpha hole. Because he didn't know any different. Just like Cormac was raised by that dick of a freaking dad who was like, you can't go into the library. You're a female. You must be seen and not heard. Like, and even being seen is like fucking, you must be seen with a man next to you. Like, you're not woman enough without a man. Like, it was very, I don't know. It was very like, too on the nose
but
with the way
Cormac,
that like they like
Cormac was putting up a front like Lydia was though, because he was also an undercover agent.
Yes,
granted Lydia was the hind. Lydia did a lot worse stuff.
Way worse.
But I think Cormac was putting on a show for everything, and Bryce knew that. Like they had a conversation about it and everything.
Yeah.
But like.
Oh yeah, because I got really upset when she like was like Hunt and I are together at the thing. Like that really bothered me because I thought like they were gonna
had
do
like
better.
A deal that they were gonna.
I thought she was gonna do better at like being I don't know, like sticking with it a little longer. Remember when I was like super irritated at work and I was like, I can't believe she did this, because like I guess like you say you're gonna do something, then fucking do it. Like that's the other thing I hated about her. Okay, so I fucking hated Bryce.
She was frustrating.
Sucks. Katie sent me this goddamn TikTok that was like, your birthday month is who you are. And I fucking ended up being Bryce. Literally, it was like, argh.
I was so happy to be Aelin.
I would have loved to be Aelin. If anything, I feel like I resonated more with her. The problem I have with Bryce is she's a little bitch, okay? So she says she's going to do something, and then she turns around and does something else. And I fucking hate people that lie. Like, just fucking tell me the truth. If you're going to do it, then just tell me you're going to do it. I'm totally okay. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you're like, hey, like, I'm going to go do this. Like, she does it a lot, though. And then she was
Walmart Aelin.
She was a fuck you. Oh, that hurts my feelings even more. I 100% feel that in my soul. Katie's like, I'm Target and you're Walmart. I was just like in my soul. Like I felt this. It just was like a knife.
It was like she did the same thing that she does with Aelin, where Aelin would always like go make a plan, but she wouldn't share it. Like, but Aelin had lost all of her family, and she was trying to not lose everybody, and so she was always making plans to try to fix that. Bryce was just doing shit, and I was like, why not involve anybody? And I didn't. It wasn't as believable for me as it was for Aelin, because I felt like Aelin, again, that was what she did all her life.
No, I know, but I feel
and like Bryce would just be like, surprise, I have a card in my back pocket, and you're like, why do you have the card? Like, I don't understand. What are you doing? Like. And then everyone's like, Bryce, what are you doing?
Bryce is always going to be Walmart from now on. She's never going to be. It's going to be Target and Walmart. That's great. Oh my God. You'll always be low quality. We got you from China.
In the comments for that. I want to be clear. As annoying as Bryce is, I do enjoy her as a character.
I did not like her.
It took me a while to like her. But
no, I hated her and Hunt both together.
Hunt is
I just couldn't. It was because they like fucking got together after like 3 weeks and were like, we're married and we've been together for 24 hours and God forbid we actually try to have a relationship. Even that whole celibacy thing was fucking ridiculous. Like, to the moon, when the moon crosses over to the left side of the sky, we can lose our virginities to each other.
Well, they went to that show where she had to like pretend to be with Cormac or something.
Yes.
And then Hunt's just like sitting there like, I want to fuck her so bad, but I can't fuck her right now. And I'm just like, just go have sex. Like, come on.
Yeah, the way she talks about sex in this one really bothered me.
Yeah.
It was, I just really want to just like take her. And it's like, okay. I do have to be honest with you though. When she fucking cuddles him after all the shit that happens and she like showers him,
that was
everything in me was like, oh my God, like that is so intimate.
That was a moment where they really, really connected.
That was when I was like, okay, you guys are allowed to be mates after this. But all the time before that, I was like, get the fuck over yourself. You're like 20 years old and you're like, I like a boy, but I don't like a boy.
Well, when we meet Bryce, she's so immature. Like, if she is finally going to give Connor a chance, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
but
goes
she
and
was
fucks
like
the
with
lion
that
shifter.
guy.
She went and had sex with a lion shifter that night. She's like, this is my last hurrah, and then I'll go be with Connor. And then she like texts
You can't say shit. This is why I'm offended that it's Bryce is who I am, because I am Bryce, okay? I 100% did this to the guy I was with. I 100% did this. I was like, oh, I'm going to fully commit to you, so let me go fuck a couple other guys real quick. It's bad. You know, sometimes you got to be 20 and be stupid and fucking bang the world. Like, I'm 100% in agreement that women should just fuck the world. Bed notch it up, girls. But yeah, I'm just struggling with I struggled with that a little bit, but then I also kind of like get it though. You know, the only thing I couldn't stand about her was that she was like, before Danica died, she was like always high on something.
Yeah.
But I think that's why she was fucking everybody, because she was just like, I'm high.
She was just a major party girl, and then.
But was she a party girl though? Because like, okay, so here's the problem with life, okay, and this comes from life experience. There's like this weird circle that like you're doing everything that you're supposed to do and you're way too good at it. And you're like, fuck this. I don't want to be this person, but I don't want to be this person over here. So I'm going to like ride the middle ground and be a fucking idiot for like. And then when you're an idiot though, this is when bad shit happens. Son, I love you. Just so you know, I didn't do it on purpose. But
you think he's actually going to watch her?
I don't know if he's watching. I just want everybody to know I love my son. But I totally fucking was that girl. For like 2 years, I was like rocking hot. Couldn't figure it out what I want to do with my life. I did everything I was told to fucking do, everything straight and narrow, and then was like, fuck it. What's the point of this? And went and go fun, and, you know, one fun time led to another fun time and led to a child. And so, you know, like, but in her instance, hers was like, you know, doing kind of the same thing, because you get this, I don't know, when you're in your 20s, this is when you're supposed to figure it out. Yeah. This is when you're supposed to go fuck off.
Lots of people have their college years where they do crazy things.
But this is when you're supposed to fuck off, though, because if you get into the real world and it just fucking
because you're not married, you don't have children. Like
it just sucks.
That is kind of like a self-exploration time, and that's what Bryce was doing. And she already had kind of like something.
But the trauma is what is fucking ridiculous, though. Like, this is the problem. Why does this always happen? Why can you never just like walk out on the other side and be like, okay, I learned from the stupidity? No, you have to do the stupid thing, and then the trauma has to happen in order. Like when Danica dies, it's like the most dramatic.
Also, with having the horn being tattooed onto Bryce's back, took advantage of that.
But she did that on purpose.
She did that on purpose, 100%. But she got Bryce drunk on purpose to make her go get this tattoo, so she wouldn't know what it is.
But a tattoo artist should never tattoo you drunk.
No,
that's like
plenty of them do.
Like
plenty of them do. I think that's why there's so many like tattoo places that are open in Vegas that are like late night. But
bad. That's true. I didn't think about that.
But she totally took advantage of the fact that that was Bryce's personality. And granted, I guess kudos to Danica for seeing her and saying like she's got potential to be able to handle this type of situation and knowing that she's probably going to face an end that's not good. I'm actually really, this is another tie into Danica. I'm upset that we never got to see Danica with the Hellhound because they were mates.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I actually was sad that we didn't get to see Danica like more in the story. Like, there was a lot of stuff when they like replayed Danica that I was like, I love this character. This is why I just can't stand some of the way she writes. She will kill off a character. Katie told me this, and I was like, Katie's crazy. She will kill off anybody. She does not give a shit.
Unless there was the many times.
There was many times where I was like, oh, she's going to kill Bryce. Oh, she's going to kill Bryce. Bryce is dead. Wait, but she can't kill Bryce because there's another book. But then I was like, she could kill Bryce, and Hunt could go on to revenge her. Like, there was so many times where I was like, she's going to kill one of these fucking characters off, and I'm going to be so butthurt about it. There's just too many times where I was, like, on edge of my seat going, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Okay, they survived another day.
So, for speaking on that, so I had seen spoilers for Crescent City probably a year before I even started reading Crescent City, just because people post stuff on TikTok.
Oh, I know. This is why I've been off of the internets, because they keep trying to spoil books.
I had the Rune and Lydia reveal ruined for me before I went into it.
I would have been butthurt because that was good.
Thankfully, she doesn't mention her full name for a while. She's just the Hind. She's just the Hind initially. So when they first started talking about the Hind and the Hind showed up, and I was like, I had an inkling that it was Lydia. It was the Hind. And so when that popped up, I was like, oh, okay. I know it's Lydia.
When he was supposed to meet Day, or just in general?
No. In general, there was like a few times like when they ended up at like that bar at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Or like they just mentioned, like they had some interaction with with her as the Hind, and I was like, something about the Hind makes me think that this is going to be Lydia, because I was on the lookout. I was like, where is this Lydia?
See, not me, because I didn't get any spoilers.
I wish
unlike
I had
you,
it.
I was like, avoid the TikTok.
Well, I hadn't. I had. When I think honestly, when I saw that spoiler, I was probably just then reading ACOTAR. Like, I had no idea I was going to dive into this 18 book series or whatever.
I know. I was telling your mom that I was like, she talked me into this shit, and now I'm involved in this universe, and I can't get out of it. No, I don't know. If you had to reread it again, which order would you read it in? Would you go Throne of Glass to ACOTAR to?
That's a good question.
Crescent City? You definitely have to read ACOTAR before Crescent City.
Oh,
There's too many interties.
I think I would probably read Throne of Glass first this time, because I read ACOTAR first the last time, and I think because you interact directly with, I think that would be the right way to do it, because in Kingdom of Ash, Aelin
which is funny
falls
because
through.
That's how I did it.
Yeah.
So
Aelin falls through the world.
A lot of it I understood.
And Rhysand catches her.
No, that's not true, because when she falls through the worlds, I didn't know who the hell Rhysand was.
But as on a reread, that's how I would do it. If I was reading it the first time, I honestly don't know which is a better way to do it. Maybe ACOTAR first, but because I feel like there's more. When you do Crescent City, there's more ties directly to ACOTAR. I think there's more subtle Throne of Glass ties. Like there's that that goddess that was named Word.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And I think that the horn was written in word marks. I'm fairly certain.
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I definitely think the way I read it, which was the exact way it was written, was Throne of Glass, and then ACOTAR, and then Crescent City, only because I think that Throne of Glass just gets you used to SJM's like style of writing.
Yeah.
And that was like a really good way to get introduced to everybody. And then I think as you learn how she writes, when you get into ACOTAR, you're like kind of a little bit more excited to see where she goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you meet Rhysand.
The only reason ACOTAR might be better to read first is because Silver Flames Silver Flames has Feyre's whole pregnancy in it. And when Aelin falls through the worlds, Feyre's pregnant. He's standing. I just listened to this part in Kingdom of Ash, but it's one of the most beautiful men she's ever seen, standing next to a heavily pregnant female. And so,
I don't remember this,
yeah.
But it's also been a minute since we've done all of these, and I do remember you referencing that, and I was thinking, yeah, but then doesn't she fall through also into...
So Bryce is also a world walker. So
that's what it is, a world walker.
Aelin was I'm still trying to kind of connect out. So Aelin's a world walker because she used the word marks that Rowan put on her back to go back and find him.
Okay.
And so
do you think that that's where the words are coming into the horn, which is what she's got?
Well, I think the horn was written in word marks probably to be able to wield it in a way that's in a different form than what the horn was. But the horn was a made item part of the Dread Trove.
I thought that the mask in ACOTAR was also from the Throne of Glass. I thought it was in Kingdom Ash when she puts the mask on her face and Aelin's face, and she throws her in the fucking box and she locks her. I thought that the mask was the mask of death.
I
don't know why that was. And then you never said anything, so then I was like, "Star's an idiot."
No,
don't fucking say anything. Star's an idiot. But that kept every time I read Bryce. When she put the mask on, everything in me was like, this is fucking Aelin's mask that they put on her when they threw her in the fucking locked box.
I think it's just the mask from the Dread Trove, but I don't think they're the same thing. Because, in the Throne of Glass Fae are different, too, because they're affected by iron. Whereas, because that's all that Aelin was wrapped in was iron. And then in ACOTAR, they're not affected by iron. Because Aelin wears that iron ring and it doesn't protect them.
What's her name puts on the mask? I don't know why. It's just how she ties everything together. My brain automatically, that's why I tied it.
But the King of Hybern has that, like, weird old stone. It's a Godstone or something like that. Oh, no, Godstone is a part of Spark of the Everflame. But there's some old stone that he chains up Rhysand with. That I'm trying to figure out. There has to be a connection to something in that. Too.
Something in my brain thinks that somehow, and the way she writes though, that was how I figured the mask was like.
I didn't even think about the mask being the same for Aelin.
Because the way she writes, I just assumed the mask was the same damn mask in all three books.
So here's the other thing. I know Maeve was killed at the end of Kingdom of Ash, right? So they killed Maeve. Part of me wonders if Maeve. Well, but okay. I wonder. So we know that the Asteri and the Daglin are the same.
Yes.
So the Daglin from Akatar and the Asteri from Crescent City are the same creatures. Where do the Vogue come in?
I was wondering
because they're not
too.
the Asteri, but also like the creature that was in the coffin in Crescent City in the third book really gave me Maeve vibes.
Oh, so you think that like maybe Maeve came back?
I don't know.
Or somehow like when they like killed her, like something about her essence or something.
My other question was, were the Asteri, or not the Asteri, the gods in Akatar, were they their Asteri? Because they're the ones who like condemned all of this to happen, right?
Yeah,
and Elena made the deal with them.
Everything connects. So I've been really dying for like
I've been trying
to like not figure it out because I'm dying for the next book already.
I also don't want to look
like,
it up because I
holy
want to
shit.
figure it out myself. But like,
oh, I hate looking it up. That's why I've been avoiding like any of the like tickety talkety because I'm like, shit, somebody's gonna spoil it for me and I'll be really butthurt about it.
I need to honestly. I listened to Fantasy Fangirls talk about Throne of Glass, and then I think they did. Not Throne of Glass. They went through Akatar. And I loved their deep dives, but I always shut it off when they did Maas vs. Madness because I had read Throne of Glass, but I had not read Crescent City yet. So I'm a shout out to Fantasy Fangirls. I'm probably going to go back and have to listen to the Maas vs. Madness because I'm just dying at all of the connections. Like I was screaming.
Every time you go to their thing, I'm always like, that's what we didn't want to do. We didn't want to be like them.
Well, because I can't be like them. They are fantastic and they are amazing at what they do.
I don't think anybody could be like them. But I also don't like being told how the story should go. I just like enjoy.
I don't think they tell how the story should go. I think they just like do it. It gives you a better understanding, and I love the way that they talk about it.
I guess like I've only watched them like twice.
Yeah, no, they do. They're really fun. Lexi and Nicole are amazing. Shout out to you. If you're never gonna see my podcast, but you guys are amazing, and I love you. But I absolutely love their deep dives. They're like so insightful, and I feel like I understand the stories more without I feel like I'm in like a lecture hall being taught about like.
Oh no, I agree.
It's not like I'm in the Gatsby and like reading Grey Gatsby, and they're like, "Do you know what the green light means?" You know, like I don't have that. Like they are talking about like, "Oh, these gems mean this type of thing." If you Google it, but I don't ever feel like they're like making me feel like I'm sitting in a literature class.
I guess my problem is though is I like to just like how I like the book. Like okay, so Cassian, I 100% still don't see Cassian like the way everybody else in the world does. My brain had never pictured him. I don't care how many times they tell me he had hair. Everything in me was like, he's a bald man.
He's a bald
and he needs to be. Here's my thing, okay?
They talk about his hair all the time. He's
They
in like
do
a man
talk
bun.
about his hair, and it fucking makes me crazy. I think that's why I don't picture him with hair because I just don't like the man bun look. And I also like picture him way bigger than he is. I don't know why.
He's a big dude.
I think that like Mama needs a man that can just throw her in the air, and I'm not small enough to be
Cassian
like.
Could throw you. I think
I don't
Cassian
know.
could throw either of us in the air
wanna
very
say,
easily.
like,
Probably
if
like
I-
one hand for each of us. Just
Right?
toss us.
That's not what I picture though. I picture like though like if I had to picture like I don't know. I don't picture him at all like that. But what's funny is that I'm definitely a casting girl. But every time like they talk about his wings, like I don't know, everything inside me is
Well,
just
his
like,
wingspan's the smallest.
yeah.
So
but
it's
everything
Asriel.
inside me is
It's
like,
Asriel, Rhysand, and Cassian.
everything inside me is like, oh, no wings. I just want you to be.
Well, that's
but
why
I think
like
I'm
Rhysand.
Nesta.
He
I
can,
think
he can
I'm.
get rid of them.
I think I'm like. I totally think I'm Nesta.
I
like,
think you are.
I think that's who I picture myself. Out of all of her characters, she's the one I picture myself the most. Bryce is too much of a whiny bitch.
Bryce, Bryce was less relatable
Lena
for me.
is just way too like. Said her name wrong because I can never
Aelin.
say it right. Thank you. Aelin is way too much of a bitch. Like she's like, I got this. Don't you worry. Get out of my fucking way. I'm gonna cut him up. I just don't picture myself.
But I
like
feel
that.
like you want a Rowan type that's gonna tell you you're worthless.
You just want to punch you in the face. Bam! Shut up, bitch. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I definitely am not words of affirmation. I don't want to be told that I'm
Rowan
a good girl.
was like, it would have been
I don't
better if
wanna
you
be-
died.
I would have
Or
loved
this
to be
was
fucking told if I died. I have to tell you, I'm not a words of affirmation. We joke way too much in my family.
This is probably why I'm a Rhysand girly, because I'm totally a words of
my God.
affirmation.
No, we joke way too much in my family, and we say shit to each other all the time that's beyond fucking mean. Like shit that would hurt anybody else's feelings, but to us it's like our love language. Yeah, no, if a guy was ever like, hey baby, you're so cute, I'd be like, who you talking to? Like, who's cute? Like, what's wrong with you? If you were like, hey bitch, get over here, I'd be like, what you talking about? Let's go. Be like, come on, Willis. Yeah, I don't know, like I've never been those girls that are like, tell me I'm good and like tell me I'm pretty, like, you know, like even like no, I'm no, it doesn't work for me. Like Bryce and Hunt, I think really bother me because they're like, oh, Bryce, they're gonna have a fight, but then it's gonna be not a fight.
I feel like they're too petty with each other.
Okay, there's a little bit of pettiness, but their fights are like, oh, that was it.
Yeah.
That was our fight.
There's not, oh my God.
And I need the makeup sex, I need the fight.
You know what was really funny to me, though, was when they were like, okay, we're actually going to have sex now. And then Ethan moves in with them.
I fucking loved it because he's like, he has the fae ears, so he can like hear everything.
Yeah, the werewolf ears, which are technically fae.
I thought they were fae ears.
Yeah, so technically, we find out that all of the shifters were fae at one point.
Yes, okay.
So technically, I mean, he's a werewolf, but like, there's technically like some fae
ears. He can hear everything.
Yeah.
Which, do you really want to hear everything? Like
Ethan? Okay, I can't tell if I hated Ethan more or Therian more. Therian, every time a new chapter popped up, I'm like, Therian, I do not care about you. I understand you need to get out of the water and you need to get back in. I understand that. Therian, I understand you had sex with the River Queen's daughter and then proposed to her so you could cover up your little oopsie when you took her virginity. And then now you're going to complain about it every time you have to interact with the nameless River Queen's daughter.
The nameless River Queen's daughter. She's going to have a name that's going to be amazing. And Katie's going to be so fucking worked up about it. We're going to have a whole podcast on how dare she name her something so
the
cool.
Origins of the stupid River Queen's daughter.
I guess, like, I didn't hate Therian. I have to say, he didn't bother me nearly as much as he bothers you. Ethan bothered me. The fucking sunball, is that what it was? That shit bothered me. He was a sunball. Because it was every other fucking word. Oh, he was a sunball captain, and he needs to be the man, and he was a sunball. He's wearing his sunball hat, and Hunt is wearing his sunball shirt today. And why are we talking about sunball for the?
I just want to see an actual sunball game because I feel like half of it's described like it's like baseball, and then the other half is described like it's like football.
I thought basketball. I kept thinking basketball. Like I don't know.
Okay, they were outside,
cricket?
But I guess you can play basketball outside. But I don't understand what sunball is supposed to be. I guess that's the point. It's just like an innocuous sport that they play, and it's like a really big deal. But again, Ethan's like, he was the sunball captain. He's really strong.
I have to make decisions because I was the captain and I was so smart. And sunball.
But they also had like some alpha lineage in there.
I don't know. It really bothered me.
And he was just like, I need to talk to Connor. Yeah. And then like every time he goes to talk to Connor, okay, every choice Ethan made was a bad choice.
Bad choice.
Like he went in Sigrid or whatever that he saved. And because she was an alpha and related to Danica, she was the true heir or whatever. And then it was like, well, actually, now she's ending up she was a Reaper because she ended up in this in the Viper Queen's fight that Ethan had to go fight her. But the dragon was gonna have to be in it originally, and it was like.
And then the dragon didn't want to be in it, so she like.
The dragon up and left. I want to know what happened to her.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, like at all. Like when I pictured the dragon, I pictured her as this like sexy, like just female, right? Like what you would picture like Attn in then like human form, with like a slight bit of like an elongated face that kind of had like a dragony look, but still really freaking sexy. And then like in all leather. I don't know why. Like it sounds really weird. Like her in the fighting ring, like as one of those like sexy like WWF fighters. There's a WWE.
The World Wildlife Foundation.
WWE. Hey, they changed the name when I was a kid. It was WWF. The WWE. There's a couple of them that are like really gorgeous. I just picture like one of them like in their like raw outfit, but like her with like kind of a dragony face, but like a cute dragony face, like a button-nosed dragon. I don't know what the hell that would look like, but like not like that. I don't picture her like a dragon, like rah, I'm an ugly scale dragon.
I want to know why fire sprites are all like the dorkiest little people or like dorkiest little things ever, because like Lahaba was also just like she just wanted to like flirt and she just wanted to watch her like her little the reality TV
because
shows.
That's 100%. Okay, not to get into astrology over here, but that's 100% like a Leo thing to do. Okay, which is what I figure like what I pictured like as Leos are like considered fire in the astrology world. I always just pictured her like that's like the 100% like a very like they're like gossipy, like super interested in like they don't want to be involved in their own life, but they want to be involved in your life. So they love that like reality TV kind of like that's what I always pictured her as, like this like 100% like I just really want to like be involved. Like what's the gossip? I don't know. Like I loved her. She was like my favorite.
I love Lahaba.
Yeah,
and her sacrificing herself for Bryce. Oh, it just hurt me.
Yeah.
But the 3 fire sprites that came out of the ring with the dragon were just like dorky little things
But
too.
they were like the same way though. Like if you were to like, if they were to actually have like a real life and not just be, I think they would have 100%.
And then Lydia freed the Sprite Queen from she was like in that like glass ball in the Asteri's palace.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking that because Ethan killed the Undertaker. I don't know what the hell his name was.
Ethan killed the Underking.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Look at that, WWE.
So Ethan's like, oh, I'm gonna go save her, and then she's a Reaper. And then like nothing. I feel like every single time that Ethan tried to do any, so the first time he tried to contact Connor was with oh my gosh, what's her name? The Queen of the Witches or whatever.
I'm blanking her name. I know who you're
but she was
about.
like she was a healer and all that kind of stuff. And so she's like she's a necromancer. So they're like, oh, we'll bring him back and all that kind of stuff. And then they ended up in like the Underking sent a bunch of crazy shit to chase after them. After that, and they had to like get through the Underking's like maze. And then I actually really liked her. She ended up having that relationship with that Archangel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was with the Archangel, who then she was like, I didn't appreciate that she was horrible after that. So then she broke up with the Archangel. But I actually, before we met Lydia, I really liked the idea of them being together because they were betrothed.
Okay, speaking of the Archangel, the female one that was like, oh, I'm going to go have their baby just because I was told to. Does that bother you?
100%.
Were you like, as a female, like that is not female anatomy, like you should not have the autonomy to just be told what to do?
No, I hated that. And do it
like in that respect of like, I don't know, it was weird. She just was like,
well, and Hunt
it's
was
fine.
actually like,
it's what I meant to do. And I was like, no.
Hunt was really supportive of her. Like he was they were all really like not sure about her being like this new nice Archangel. And then she ended up being like falling into the trap that all the Archangels did and just like fucked him over in the end. But like, yeah,
I was kind of glad that Bryce was kind of like, fuck this bitch. Like,
yeah.
I was like, thank God. I was like,
the side note, speaking of Archangels, shout out to Bryce vacuuming up Michael after she killed him. Just like, could you imagine like being on, like you're in a room full of like some of the most powerful leaders and their soldiers watching this live video feed of an Archangel doing some crazy shit, and then this half human, half fae just kills him, and then beyond just like, oh, like I killed him, now like I'm gonna go deal with myself or like take a rest or anything. She just like takes a vacuum and starts like cleaning him up. Like she just like.
Speaking of half human, half fae, do you think that she should have had as much power as she did?
Well, no, she wasn't supposed to.
Should have had more power than her, being that he was actually fae, and she's just born and she's just like fucking. And then the Oracle is like, "You're gonna be the most powerful." Like,
well, didn't she get some of Danica's power when she did the drop? Because Danica, I think, helped her out of the drop.
But she was already, per the Oracle, she was already going to do. Yeah,
that much power,
she was destined. And then the other thing that tripped me out. Okay, speaking of the ending, so Rune was told he would the lineage would die with him, right? So do you think that just meant that he would have children, but just not like, because Danica technically would become ahead of him in the lineage? Because when it ends, I was thinking about this, him and Lydia could have kids.
I think that's what it was, though, is that Bryce took it over, and Bryce ended up ending the rule of them. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Okay, because it kind of was like, oh.
Yeah, because I think he always thought he was either going to die or he wasn't going to be able to have kids.
Yes, which really bothered me because I really didn't want him to die or not have kids. But then
that was something we forgot to talk about in the Quicksilver episode.
What?
That thing you hate about Saris not being able to have kids.
Son of a... I totally forgot about that, which it really bothered me.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it now because it really bothered me.
Spoilers for Quicksilver.
I just don't think that should be okay. It almost reminded me of like, you know, the whole like Holocaust where they would just take people and they would sterilize them just because, rather than like being able to like.
I will say probably what I think is probably how they're gonna work around it is
she
she's
became
in a new fae
her
body
healed. It cracked. Yeah, no, I thought about that. It still bothered me though.
Yeah.
It still bothered me that she like lost all ability to have children. Really bothered me because there's too many women in the world that like really want to be parents. And I know adoption is wonderful and I appreciate all of it. I just think that there's like a weird...
It could be an opportunity,
ability,
though.
It's just the ability. It's like if you choose not to have children, that is totally fine. Mm-hmm. I just think it's the ability that really bothered me.
But I think if they don't do the whole, oh, well, surprise, she has a Fae body now, she can have a baby. I think it is a unique way to kind of include that population of people who aren't able to have kids biologically because of whatever. Which would be a nice kind of change of pace, other than the because like going back to Throne of Glass, like SGM gets a lot of shit for the whole Kaol thing, because instead of kind of embracing his disability, he gets but he can magically not be disabled. So that can be, instead of he does have moments where he overcomes it before he does heal, where he accepts that yes, this is just a part of who I am now. And a lot of people who are in wheelchairs or have other disabilities spend a lot of time kind of having to come to terms with that.
It's a lot of mental work.
It's a lot of mental work, especially because society's not built for you.
Yeah, not only that, but I love to be active and running and hiking and everything. If I lost my legs, I always think about it. If I lost my legs, would I just want to be
That's why I loved Tower of Dawn for all of the Kaol parts. The things I don't like about Tower of Dawn have everything to do with Nezran and Sartak. But that's another story. That's a whole other thing. But I think that Kaol's journey throughout it is actually really beautiful, and that he does end up embracing a lot of the fact that he can make adjustments to things, where he can get back up on a horse, which he always loved riding and fighting and everything, and Irene helps make his brace for it and everything. So, and he learns that he can use his chair and all that kind of stuff and fight from his chair. So before he gets the magic crutch, which tends to be used to kind of overcome a disability, I think he was kind of on a good path for that. But I think if they do the same thing for Saris, where she's not able to have kids, and they navigate that as a couple, I think that could actually be a nice point where someone could relate to that.
No, I 100% agree. I just think that in the books, we're just so used to getting lovey-dovey book stuff that we tend to, when those happen, we're what? How dare you write that into the story? This is supposed to be lovey-dovey. It's supposed to end with fated mates. Ugh. But I'm just saying, it's just...
Speaking of fated mates, okay, when Bryce ends up in the black hole, where she's, wrestling with, Rye Jealous, when they're fighting, they're, wrestling all the way down, and they're about to go through, that pocket of the world that they can't get out of.
Yeah.
And Hunt puts on the, outer space suit, the mech suit, and jumps in after her. I was dying. I'm sorry. I wanted Bryce to live. At that point, I had actually kind of enjoyed Bryce. But it felt a little like Aelin going to close the gate, but without the coolness of Aelin going to close the gate. I
just can't stand Bryce and Hunt together.
Oh, side note, this is a whole other thing. Do you think so? Every single world the Asteri has built has had a kill switch, right? So in Akatar, the Cauldron's the kill switch.
Yes.
Was the word gate the kill switch in Throne of Glass?
Ooh, I think so. That was my thought.
Because that word gate could have ended everything. But I feel that's why I think that the gods might have been the Asteri. Because she sent them to another world that they were going to get trapped in, but she said she destroyed them, but she closed the portal, so we don't know that they all died. Yeah, and then you have
the timeline would be almost close. So if you looked at how the years to which they said it happened, it could be,
because she falls through. So she world walks after that, and she ends up passing through Crescent City first.
Yeah,
and then she ends up barreling too fast, and she gets stopped by Rhysand's dark power, slows her, and she comes back to Terrasen. So it would line up, because when Bryce meets Nesta in Crescent City 3, Nyx is alive. Or Nyx is already born. And Nesta has a good handle on her power and stuff.
I thought that was kind of interesting how she had a good handle on her power. I'm curious to see where she goes, because which one comes out next? It's not Crescent City next.
No, Akatar 6 comes out next.
6, yeah. It would be interesting. So obviously the baby's going to be born.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we're assuming Nesta's going to have her powers are going to be... obviously,
because her powers are still there, right? Because it almost seemed like, because she said she would give over her power to save Feyre when she was going to save her, or with the pregnancy thing.
Yeah.
So it almost seemed like she gave up her power, but she didn't, because she very clearly still has the solar flame.
Yeah, but where's her sister? So we didn't see her sister in Crescent City.
We didn't see anybody except for, we saw Rhysand.
We saw Farah.
We did see Farah.
But you don't actually see her. She refers to her as his strong partner.
Well,
or
I think
something
he says this is my mate Farah at the end of book 2.
Yeah, but she doesn't actually meet her. She says like she's the strong. She assumes that she's a strong wife or something.
Oh,
it's
maybe.
never actually like, because she doesn't really interact with Rhysand. She interacts with Ezreal and
Nesta.
And then the only time that she really ever gets, Nesta gets the mask is on, and then Azrael is like, I said his name wrong. Sorry. Was like, Cassian's waiting for you, and that's the only reason why you know that they're together. Like, not that they weren't together, that they're still together. Like that they're like things are still going.
Yeah. So
I'm assuming, because she writes all her books, like when Crescent City was making me crazy, because she writes all her books, and you're like, okay, so 6 is coming out. So like, what's gonna happen in 6? Are they gonna have kids in 6? Like, do they already have kids? Like, are we ahead of it, but we're going back?
That's what I'm curious about, is because when we do meet Nesta, and he's like, Cassian's waiting for you. How far past Silver Flames are we? Because we ended Silver Flames with them planning their mating ceremony. So have they already done their mating ceremony?
We don't get to do. Katie's gonna lose her shit again. We're gonna get an off-page freaking marriage.
I want to see one fucking marriage.
Maybe she just doesn't like to write marriage. Maybe she's happily married and just doesn't want to write marriage. She's like, smut's okay.
Rhysand was based off her husband.
I know, and Rhysand's fucking awesome.
Rhysand's amazing.
I'm just saying, like, maybe she just doesn't like on page. Maybe her wedding was like super simple,
but again, like Rune and
maybe
Lydia
she doesn't know
married.
how to write a big wedding.
Rune and Lydia got married on page, but it was in a bonus
simple
chapter.
Wedding.
And it was a simple wedding. It was Lydia surprised
Maybe
Rune.
that's all she knows. Maybe we just aren't looking at the right picture.
I just feel like
maybe
just having
smut's easy because her husband's like, bend over, baby, let's take this. I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe that's like her one hang up. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's her one. Maybe this fucking woman can write like all kinds of like straight.
But she just can't write a good wedding.
Can't write a good fucking wedding.
The one thing I will say is that I want to shout out Whimsy Gossip, who I've sent you trailers for this and stuff. I don't know if you ever watched them. They make fantastic ACOTAR fan films.
No,
amazing. They made a Throne of Glass fan film when Aylin's in the coffin and she's hearing her mother's voice. Heartbreaking. But they came out with chapter 54, 55, and then they also did chapter 70 of ACOWAR, which is when I think it's chapter 70, but it's when the Cassian's like in the sky and Nesta's calling for him. Like, that's the end of it. But they flashed back to Rhys and Farah's mating ceremony in that. Like, they fully just made a new scene.
They just made it. They were
because
just
it's like
here we go.
It's when they're standing in a circle and Rhysand's like addressing each of them, and he's like, if I'd never met my mate.
So I know we're not supposed to talk about this because this is going to be a whole nother, but like when you first meet Rhysand, when he walks up to her in the like woods and everybody's
there,
like,
you are. I've been looking for you.
Do you automatically assume that's going to be her mate? Because I swear to you, the minute
I didn't clock
I met him, I was like, if it's not, I want it to be. So, like, I was 100% all black walking up, and I was like, yes, daddy, smack me around, tell me all kinds of horrible things, tell me I'm ugly. I don't know. Everything in me was like, this is the... But when she goes back to Tamlin, I was like, no, it's a fucking... I hate him. I die. And it was weird because I liked him in the very beginning when she first met Tamlin. Mm-hmm. I was 100%, okay, he's interesting. Not my kind of guy, but I understood how women would like him. I'm 100% was like, I love Rhysand, but he's not my guy either. But I truly was like, please God, please God, please God. And I was like, it's gotta be him. There was just something about his dark essence that was like,
I had a different experience going into
take me over to the table and right now. Like,
again, so I ended up reading ACOTAR. Multiple people had recommended I read ACOTAR. I had started getting back into reading when I was nursing because I needed something to do that wasn't watching a video because my daughter would like pop off the boob and stare at me and like try to watch the video. So I had to do something else to entertain myself when I'm sitting there for minutes at a time doing this. So I started reading some like YA romance, and then I ended up, somebody was like at work was like, you should read ACOTAR. And I was like, I know, everyone keeps saying that. And then on TikTok, I started getting ACOTAR stuff. And
TikTok's got a way of bringing you in.
But that meant that I also had the Rhysand and Feyre pairing spoiled for me. I went into ACOTAR knowing that they were going to get together. But I did spend the first book falling in love with Tamlin and being like, I really liked Tamlin. But I told my mom this. I remember I was sitting in her kitchen telling her this. I'm like, I finished the first ACOTAR book and I really liked it. But I know that she's going to end up with Rhysand, and I think SJM did a great job because I don't understand how that's going to work because Tamlin's who she's supposed to be with. That's how I ended that story. Now I go back and I read ACOTAR because I've done ACOTAR a couple times. I've actually read through the graphic audio a couple times on it. And each time you just see where Tamlin was not a supportive person, and he was too insecure in himself.
Yes.
To be a good partner to Feyre.
Yes.
Whereas Rhysand was very confident in who he was and very confident in who Feyre was and gave her the space to figure out who she was in her new Fey body and stuff. Whereas Tamlin was so terrified of losing her again that he wasn't willing to give her the space to grow and accept that after Under the Mountain she was a very different person.
Which was great, though. It showed her a lot, which I guess if we're bringing it back to Crescent City, Hunt does that for her.
Yes. 100%.
He does that for Bryce. Which I'm not sure that it's Connor.
Connor, yeah.
I'm not sure Connor would have been able to do that.
No.
I think 100% she needed a little bit of a stronger man. I'm not going to say that Connor wasn't because we don't really get to know him very much. And in the instances we do get to know him, he also feels like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Where, like, Hunt might have been 20.
Hunt feels like an adult. Hunt's been through a lot of shit.
He just had, like, a very, like, way more...
he was a grown-up.
Yeah. It just was like, a different... Okay, so one of the TikToks that I've watched, fucking hilarious. 1 or 2 year age difference is 100% okay, but 500 years and you're still like, yes, daddy.
Okay.
So here's my thing, though. Hunt's like 520 and she's only like 20. So, but he's not really 500 years older than her in reality. Like, he's probably only 20. This is what I hate about the whole Faye thing.
Yeah, because they're like stuck in the age group, right? Like,
yeah, like you're not really 520.
I mean, life experience-wise, you are 520, but your body is 20.
Yeah, but he was like, okay, I guess, yes. But I'm just saying, like, even still, like, even with her, he was still 20. Like, his emotional...
He still acted young and
his
stuff.
emotional, like, capacity...
Where I think Rhysand is more mature in a lot of ways. Like, Rhysand comes off like he's in his 30s, to me, rather than being, like, in his early 20s. And
I 100% agree with that. And
he's with Feyre, who's 19. I 100%
agree with that. Which, yeah, okay.
Feyre's 19 when they meet. But, again, in a fantasy realm, I don't mind it as much.
It does not creep me out, but I love older men. So I'm not the person
I have to say, I love an age gap romance as long as the timeline makes sense. If you had a 19-year-old dating, like, a 38-year-old in a contemporary romance, I'd be a little grossed out. But once they hit 20-something, I'm fine with it. Like, most of the age gap romances I read are, like, 15-plus years different. But they're, like, 23 and 38.
Yeah, I'm like, I can handle... I guess I can handle that. Because pretty close to about 23 is about when you start to, like, get a little bit more... Well, because
you should be kind of graduating college at that point.
You should be getting
like,
mentally...
You're kind of... unless you're going to a graduate program, obviously. But, like, you've had some life experience that's beyond, like, I lived with my parents, I went to high school. Whereas you're like 18, 19, you're right out of high school, and I don't necessarily believe that you're right there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Granted, Feyre, in her defense, was... well, we saw it with Rowan and Aelin, too. Aelin was 20 when they met, or whatever. Rowan was also a lot older. But I think these women had things that hardened them and made them age beyond what they should have been dealing with.
I also think that Faye just don't, like... 500 years is
it doesn't make a difference to them.
500 years is only like 20 minutes to
Rune's
them.
A lot older than Bryce, too.
That is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Because they're half siblings, and they're like the same age physically, but...
Yeah, it's a weird thing to think about, because that's not how I read it.
Yeah.
Like, even when, like... I didn't think about it until I was thinking about how Hunt was like 500 and something, and then I was like...
Another thing I don't fully understand with the Fae is, like, the ordeal.
What do you mean?
Like, I guess I don't understand what the true definition of the ordeal is, because, like, for Rune, it was going into the cave to go get the Star Sword. That was, like, him and his buddy's ordeal. But then when Bryce was fighting off, she had to go save Shrinks from like river monster thing
Okay.
that was kept in the archive. Rune was like, "This is her ordeal," and I was like, "What the fuck determines what their ordeal is?"
I don't
They just
know.
have to go
I
through-
didn't catch that part of the. I guess I didn't catch the wording on that one.
Yeah, and then
I was just thinking the jump is what I thought you were talking
oh
about.
yeah, the
and
drop.
then I was like the drop. And I was
No,
like,
the drop made sense to me. I guess once and again, once we figured out from the Asteri, it's a very different thing that was created after with the parasite and all that kind of stuff. That was crazy,
right?
But for the Fae to choose what their ordeal is it just like a big task that like means a lot to them?
Yeah, maybe it makes their growth. It's their growth era, like how like when you get to like a certain age of passing, it's like their growth, like right, like it's.
I don't know. I was very confused by that. I feel like it was just like a thing that was thrown in, and I didn't fully understand what the purpose of it was. I guess it's just a Fae culture thing. I suppose.
Probably.
I'm not really positive, but that was something that I thought was weird. But Shrinks. How do you say his? You listened to the audiobook. Did it say?
No.
Shrinks.
I thought it was Shrinks.
Is it Shrinks? I think it's Shrinks. But he was so cute.
But
he kind of reminded me of Fleetfoot in Flown of Glass. We're like
Fleetfoot was cute, but that dog gets dropped off, and then you forget about the dog, and then the
saying,
dog comes back, and you're like, "What the hell happened?"
At least I guess she kind of mentions Shrink throughout, so it's not like you lose track of where he is.
Right.
But really, like if that happened with Fleetfoot too, where it's just like, oh, they have this like really special thing, but now they're gonna go do some crazy shit, so. Like we have to go drop them off somewhere and make sure that the animal doesn't get hurt. But Shrinks actually got put in mortal danger and like had to be revived multiple times for Shrinks. But so the throwing back to we're walking that you hate.
I didn't hate it that much in Crescent City. I fucking hated it in the other two books, not so much in this one.
I guess that's where we differ because I loved it in Empire Storms. I felt like we got a lot of character development in it.
No, see, that's what I meant about the whole like ordeal is like maybe it's just where they like learn. But no, this one didn't bother me in the walking because even when they were in the cave and stuff, I felt like there was still shit happening. Yeah, or like the rest of them, I was like, we're walking 8 pages.
So
later,
would Aylin's ordeal have been like basically Air of Fire, where she has to go through and accept her Fae heritage?
Kind of Bryce is similar though, if you think about it. Though she had to accept that she was like the starlight.
Because she used her star to fight Michael.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole star
and
thing.
And then Feyre's ordeal would have been like under the mountain.
Already on a different podcast. The star thing bothered me.
It
glowed. It was just like nobody fucking wants your chest to glow, okay? I'm sorry. I don't know why that bothered me. They think of Care Bears.
The Care Bears or like the Teletubbies.
Oh my god. Oh, the Teletubbies. Oh my god. We're really
you imagine if she starts like projecting something with her
She's
stars?
Just like, here we go.
No. So the 8-pointed star though is interesting because all of the tattoos or like different brandings or things that all of these characters have means something.
I know.
Like so in Throne of Glass, like all of Rowan's tattoos tell the story of the dead. Yes. Or he ended up tattooing word marks, on Aylin's back to get her to come home. The Akatar tattoos are bargains, and Nesta had the 8-pointed star, which partly was the battle training thing was the 8-pointed star. Like she used the sword for practicing. And then it's also a symbol of the Dust Court. So Bryce being able to open all of those like things in the cave to the Dust Court. Yeah. Which was the prison, what became the prison. And then she like I want to know what happened to the prison because she like rearranged everything, right? Did everyone just fucking escape the prison?
I don't know. I feel like they do that a lot, and then you just don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, Akatar 6 will hopefully tell us some more. But the going back to the cave scene.
Does that mean that the bone, whatever
the bone carver?
Well,
he's dead.
Is he dead?
Supposedly, he and the Weaver died. Is he dead
though?
Supposedly, he and the Weaver died.
Because they we'll see. Because I know they died, but I just feel like they did. I feel like they were capable of not dying.
My other thought, I was curious about. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Amryn. Where did I almost thought Amryn was a Asteri.
I'm not remembering who Amryn is.
Amryn is not in ACOTAR.
No, I know in ACOTAR, but I'm not
she's
picturing.
Rhysand's second. She's got like the silver
Okay,
eyes.
okay. I was
She's
picturing
from a different
her
world.
in
She escaped
ACOTAR,
the
and then I
prison.
was like, I don't remember. But I thought Amryn was the Weaver, so my brain was like, I don't know. Like,
but she escaped
I feel like
the prison.
I'm mixing up. Like,
she escaped the prison, and she was from another world where she was like, I mean, her power was insane.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I'm interested to see what 6 brings.
But it also, I don't know that it would make sense that Amryn was Asteri because of the Daglin being the Asteri. So
Right.
I don't know. I just want to know what Amryn actually is, I guess. But yeah. So going back again to that cave, I felt like it was such a big opportunity. You have Bryce, Rhysand, Nesta, Asriel all in the same room. You could do something so cool with these characters. And what ended up happening was chapter after chapter of we were walking through a cold cave and it was wet sometimes. Oh, my star's pointing here. We're going to follow where the star points. And I'm just like, and then they like end up getting, they end up meeting another Midgard worm and stuff. And I'm just like, there's so much more that could be done other than like the only exciting thing that happened for 90% of that was Nesta fighting the worm with the mask. And then they end up like going into those little caverns that end up being the Dust Court, and they and then the lore dump that they
makes
did
it way stupider than it is.
The lore dump that they did with the daughter, it was just chapter after chapter of I am a recording and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, and I'm like, why couldn't they have found out anything while they were doing this cave walk before that?
I don't know.
I mean, they kind of did because she recognized the pictures because she's like an art history major. But I was just like, this is a massive info dump from a random recording. And I couldn't. And then she got like, it was like, I felt like I was in a video game because it was like, and congratulations, you've opened up my part of the star.
The question would be, do you think that like that SJM's like or the person that like tells you how to like your publisher, do you think like maybe they changed it, like they were just like, here, like change this, we don't like this?
Potentially,
because like I didn't feel that way about it, but I do have to tell you because my brain is like, but the power grid fucking was crazy. And then the fact that they were like, we might just end up back to nothing, my brain was like, you get to fucking shit in a toilet and now you're not gonna know what running water is. Like, sorry, you get to go back to fucking not having running water. I guess like my brain on that one would just fucking die. Like, you get a smartphone, but now we don't get a.
But there's no way to power it now.
But like the crazy part about the whole thing was it was too fucking real.
Yeah.
Because we live in a city. I don't know why it was bothering me. Like while you were talking about like the cave and stuff, I was thinking like, oh shit, after she like finishes everything, so it was just like no more power grid. Yeah, I just thought about like how shitty it would be. Like we're too fucking spoiled as Americans to just be like,
honestly,
like, we're like, food comes out of refrigerator. Like we don't have to put food in there, it just comes out of there. Could you imagine all of a sudden it just be like Dark Ages, back to rubbing two sticks together,
and then she's just like, congrats, you're a democracy, bye.
Yeah, like
Aelin did the same thing.
I know.
Aelin's like, I'm going to rule you, but we're taking votes because I'm done with this.
Right, I just thought it was weird. I'm gonna rule you, but that's it. What? No more actual name.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I forgot about that. When Aelin did that, I was just like, oh my god. Yeah.
No, 100%. But oh gosh, what else did I have to say about Crescent City? There's so much to it that like, I already went on and on and on about how much I love Rune and Lydia. Oh, Lydia being related to Aelin made my life. I was screaming. I was about to throw my book.
I know, but I was trying to figure out like, I don't know. I'm hoping in the fourth book that we get like more like to that, because I would love to see the wraparound.
Because she has like the golden ash river eyes.
Yeah, I would love to see
the blonde hair.
Wraparound.
I would honestly. There's so many characters I want to overlap, but when she died, I was so pissed off because I was like, I know that Rune and Lydia are supposed to be together, and they hadn't fully gotten together because Rune was still pissed that she was the hind. So I was just like, there has to be like a way. And then it was like, and Lydia died. I was like, I'm gonna scream. I love Lydia. I was so mad she like fell into the water. I was just like, and she, like. Don't we open up book 2 with because it's the Rune knew of 3 things. That's what everybody on the internet is very focused on, that Rune Dana knew 3 things for sure, or whatever, when he's when that deer shifter's riding his face. Yeah. So
I remember the riding in the face. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I think it was a deer shifter too. So I almost wonder if that was supposed to be kind of foreshadowing that the hind was who he's going to be ending up with. The other thing I wanted to say, so there's the hind, the hellhound, the harpy, and who was the hind with? What was his? Why can't I remember that? The harpy was insane though. She just like was a little feral crazy lady, I felt like.
I'm not sure what she's talking about. Way over my head all this.
Oh, the hammer. It was the hammer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember? It was it's Sandriel's like quartet of evil things. Yeah. So the
Nope, drawing a blank, sorry.
So
Brain
the hammer,
is like no
the hammer
idea.
was who Lydia was with. Who
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But the hammer I felt like and there's the hawk. The hawk's the other one.
Okay.
But the hind I felt like was very interesting. She was just like this tiny woman who was just very intelligent and cruel and I love Lydia and I thought she was very interesting as a character. I don't know how I felt about her having kids. Like she just went and took part in this like fertility ritual and then ended up having twin boys.
I think I liked it in a weird way. There was like this weird part of me when I found out she had kids that like made her seem more evolved, but also like the shit we do as mothers for our children is just intense. And I thought it was great, the idea that like she had like more than just like I'm the hide. I don't know. It gave her more like
it gave her turning point.
Yeah,
like when she started being Agent Daybright.
Yeah, I think it gave her like a better like evolution of like her life. But I also think like the things that we do as parents and like giving up her children.
Oh, that was so heartbreaking.
To a gay couple.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And
like
they took
if you
such
could
good
do
care of
anything
him.
better, you did such a great job. Not only did you write it in the city, but you also gave the kids to a gay couple and they were thriving. I just thought that was great. Because the thriving, like people sometimes just think that they don't, and I just like think
no, she ended up having the most amazing parents that took care of her, and how welcoming they were to Lydia when she came back. Even them being like, it's going to take them some time, but we're fully supportive of you getting to have a relationship with your sons was so special. Like it was just such a good relationship that they ended up getting, and those boys were very, very lucky to get to have that. And I think she did the brave thing to give them up, knowing that she was not going to be in a good situation to have them in the first place.
Yeah.
But it was a good character arc for her. I felt like the way I honestly kind of would have been more interested in it if it had been the Hammer's kids that she just ended up pregnant with.
Ew.
I don't want
God,
that for her.
No, I don't want that for her either.
But
that would just
I feel like the random fertility right thing threw me. I just thought that didn't make sense to me. But I think overall her having children was a beautiful thing. And I think she was a fantastic mother who wanted to be there for him. I don't know if Rune
could have been able to take it if it was Hammer's kids.
I think Rune would have handled it just fine.
I don't know.
I think he would have had a hard time with it, but I think he would have been there.
Any man would have handled that well.
I don't think he would have been stoked about it. But the Hammer was dead by the end of it, and Rune was going to show up for her by the end of it. He was totally down bad for Lydia.
I agree.
Which partly why I love Rune. I also love Rune. He finally gets to be with her. It's like, damn, I wish I had my lip piercing still.
I did like that. Side note, because Star loves side notes. Was with a guy in my 20s that had I didn't know they existed, but like back in the day they used to have like tongue rings. I'm pretty sure they don't make these anymore, and if they do, you probably have to get it at a specialty shop that vibrated.
Oh,
best fucking day of my life. I have to tell you.
Oh my God.
Was like, call me mama and don't stop.
That's crazy.
That was, if you are watching this for any reason, shout out to you because you know who you are. But yeah, that was 100% like one of the best times of my life. I've never seen them now. Like I've looked at shops, they do not make vibrating tongue rings anymore. I have a hard time believing that they still they probably were like, no, these are the worst things that you can ever do. Probably gives you cancer. But
something about it. The lithium ion battery in your mouth.
It was definitely fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was an interesting. Oh, that's going to be a deep dive conversation. Deep dive. That's going to be great.
We'll have to do like a where we just pick books that are primarily smut motivated, and we'll because I have one. It's called "Till Summer Do Us Part" by Megan Wood. Is directly behind you, and it was a smut forward book, and he had like 2 lip piercings, I think, or he had just one, and then he had 4 piercings across his cock, and it literally kept just talking about it all the time. I don't think he had a Jacob's ladder, but I think it was like across the head. And it was every time they had sex, all they were talking about was like, I've never had sex with someone that had piercing on their dick. And
I mean, I have to be honest. It seems like a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny how, like, when they're writing these books, that's the thing that they focus on. But yeah, Rune with it. So Rune got all of his piercings ripped out when he was taken captive by the Asteri, and then his hand eaten off by the Hellhound. And this is bad of me, but like that little baby hand growing back.
My brain went straight to fisting. Sorry, universe. I don't know where she was going with that. I did not know where she was going with that. That is literally what I pictured. My brain was like, where's Katie going with this? So inappropriate. My brain totally went to the wrong part of this conversation. This is why Katie and I are friends, because my brain's in the gutter.
His hand had like the fresh skin.
No, I got it.
But it had to be small to begin with,
I know, but the way you said it, my brain was like, I mean, that would be the right size.
I was not thinking of fisting, but...
We were literally just talking about smut. Your brain went clean.
My brain went somewhere else. Clean. I was just thinking of all the things that happened to Rune, and then Hunt getting his wings cut off again, which you're like totally down for.
I fucking do. I think Hunt should have his wings cut off every fucking 10 minutes. I can't stand Hunt for the life of me. He could fucking die and I wouldn't care.
I felt bad for him 100%
did not like him. Wings cut off. I think he was a little bitch. I did not like him at all.
I felt bad for him, but I wanted him to stop talking about how itchy it was. I
didn't like any of the fucking guys in this story, to be honest with you. I'm sure you're supposed to pick one.
I love me a Rune.
Yeah, she's a Rune girl. I could give a fuck less about any of them. They could all fucking rot in hell.
I thought Hunt was kind of boring overall. I think
Hunt is fucking boring.
He's good for Bryce. I think
the worst
Hunt is good for Bryce.
Again, I love my son. Please, if you ever watch this, know I love you. Hunt is like you, okay? If your motherfucker died, you would be like, oh, my mommy died, and I'm just going to be a little bitch about it.
I think Hunt was more fucked up over Sandrill's death, though. It took him, not Sandrill, but, oh my God, why can't I remember her name?
Oh, that stupid fucking bitch that he, like, followed into war?
Yeah, the archangel that he was in love with. But she also never, she always treated him like a consort, not like.
And I have a feeling that's going to be my son. I have a feeling that my daughter is going to come home and I'm going to have this fucking, my son's going to be like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes.
No, I think, I think Hunt serves his purpose well, and I think there were moments that I really liked Hunt, and I thought he was very interesting, but like I said, out of all the SJM men, he's not that appealing to me. No. He's really like
not appealing
and
at
I think
all. I couldn't stand
I've heard a lot of people say that about that. Like Rune is a more interesting character
he was more
in general.
Interesting, but I don't know. I didn't love Rune either though. Like Cormac was I lied. Cormac was my guy. I do have to say, but he dies really early on, and then you just kind of are like, but he does kind of sacrifice himself for the woman he loved, and when she died, he was like, fuck it. Actually, I gotta be honest. I didn't understand who the hell she was in the beginning. Well, the very beginning of the story when they're like running in the night, and I was like, who the fuck? Like,
I was reading that. I'm like, why do I care about this?
Why do I care about this?
And it didn't get revisited until later. And granted, like it all ended up making sense in the end. Yeah. But the
power through.
Yeah. It all connects up. Like it really
just
does.
The power through. Some of the books are long and annoying, and you were like, I could have cut 40 chapters and then sum this up a little faster.
Every Ethan chapter in book 3.
Sunball.
Every Ethan chapter.
Sunball.
The Sunball Captain Ethan. The poor guy, he just needed a break. He needed like one thing to work out well for him, but every decision he made was bad. And then he goes back to the pack and they're like, you should be the alpha, Ethan. And I'm like, in what world does this man make good enough decisions to be the alpha of your pack?
That's too funny.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
And that's Crescent City for you. Now we should probably wrap this up. And then what we should do before we wrap this up is ask Katie where she is in her book progress.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I'm actually really excited. So in my book, the basic premise is that the male main character named Bastion is having to go to another kingdom to meet his betrothed, who is the princess of that kingdom.
Okay, I think this is where I left off in the story.
And so, and Elodie, who is, she is the general's assistant in the army that Bastion's father presides over. He's the prince of the kingdom. She's the general's assistant in the same kingdom in Mesos. So Mesos is actually planning on attacking another kingdom currently, and the entire army is being sent that way. So there's not really going to be any military personnel to spare to send with Bastion. So Elodie gets assigned to be his personal guard, and she's like, what the fuck?
This is 100% where I left off.
Why do I have to do this? But so she ends up having to guard him, and while they are, and there's a lot of other fantasy stuff that I'm not going to go over because I just want to talk about this one thing I'm really excited to write soon. But when Bash is in Sudik, which is the southern kingdom where he's going to meet his betrothed, they have these kind of challenges that he has to go through to prove that he's worthy of her, and one of them is called Desire Dinner. Ooh. And I am just about to edit Desire Dinner, and I'm very, very excited for Desire Dinner.
Sounds exciting.
Yes, it's honestly probably one of my favorite elements of this story. So
I don't know, with the name Bash, she better fucking bash something big. That's all I have to say. Bastion is just like, yes.
Yep. So Desire Dinner is my next thing, and hopefully I will get to work on it some tonight. So that has been our rambling and raving about Crescent City. Again, we will try to do another more structured kind of walkthrough of Crescent City because there's a ton that we missed too.
Probably the whole series as a whole.
Yeah, and just like we'll do a full. The Fantasy Fangirls call it Masters Madness, so I don't want to steal their title, but that's essentially what it will be. We're going to go through and try to make our connections and talk about all of the craziness that good old Sarah J. Maas has created for us. So if you are watching on YouTube, I will throw up a slide where you can follow us on social media. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on any place that you can listen to our podcast. We'll see you next time.